All right, we're going to do something in remembrance of Nat Alaniz right now. It's a bit elaborate. So there's a lot of people here that knew Nat really well. Those of up here on the stage knew Nat really well. There's a lot of y'all here that knew Nat really well. There's a lot of people that didn't. And I really appreciate the fact that the younger generation is here tonight. They stayed for this. You know, they're respectful of their history and respectful of the community. And so I just want to applaud the younger guys that are here for being here with us too. This is a difficult moment for us. For their benefit and just for ours that knew it, we're going to show the video that's been on YouTube. I know, a lot of people have seen it already, but there's no better screen than that one. So.
Still get it.
So that clip right there, that's Battle of the Year 2001, right before our show. That's a Cypher battle against Korea. Probably went out for like 2 hours. Circle was about 8x8, and that was just going off. This is Battle of the Year 2001 on the main stage. You're about to see a different angle of this. So you can tell that, yeah, so here's a different angle of it. Keep in mind, this is 2001. Little John going crazy over there. This is about 99 or 2000. That was YA. This is Battle of the Year 2001 again. Same cypher footage against Korea. That's YA. Second Ward, Lombardi. This is UK champs. They won that year. 2003. Nat was known to have like some of the fastest 2000s in the world. He's the only person I've seen that can thread 90s with control, and you'll see that in a little bit. Look at this. So watch how he keeps going even though he runs into the crowd. It didn't stop that at all. Why? Look at the thread. This is in Paris, France. Well, now we're back in Germany. So that's that, y'all. Give it up.
Yeah, so when we say Nat was one of the best b-boys we've ever seen, we weren't kidding, right? I mean, he did stuff nobody had ever done before. We're going to start this with a moment of silence. Thank you. So in 1996, YA bought a piece of linoleum, and Maya, Moy, Enrique, and Cricket were involved in that purchase. They bought a piece of linoleum. We didn't know what size to make it, and so we just made it the size of the room that it would fit in, which happens to be this size. And that piece of linoleum actually happens to look exactly like this. This is not the exact piece of linoleum, but it is the exact same pattern of that very first piece of linoleum in the very first room at YA, when the very first breakdancers ever danced at YA. This particular piece of linoleum has been here since we opened the island in November. And this has been the piece that we've used for the battles, for the jam, on Thursday nights. So we're going to retire this piece of linoleum in a little while. But before we do that, there's a few of us that knew Nat really well that would like to say a few things. We're not going to keep this really long, but this is a really important night for us. This is a big loss. Nat meant a lot to YA and to the breakdancing community of Houston, to Havikoro, to the breakdancing community of the world. And you can't underestimate that. He was a phenomenal dancer, as we saw. Unbelievable. He was at a level above what almost everybody else was at. When he started, that we would go to jams and nobody was doing that stuff. He was the first person that we saw do any of that stuff. And he could do it better than everybody. But that wasn't what was so important about him. The spirit that Nat carried with him everywhere he went was a spirit of love, right? He just loved. He was a loving person. There's no other way to describe it. You can't water that down. That's just who he was. He cared about people. He cared about the community. He cared about everybody around him. And that spirit helped to spark what we have now, right? What we have now at YA, what we have now at Break Free, what we have now, the movement of b-boying in Houston, the movement of b-boying beyond Houston. I really mean, when I say that wouldn't have happened, I really believe that. I really believe that parts of it might have happened. It might have happened differently, but the way that it happened, Nat was central to that, because Nat was he calmed a lot of things down. He didn't have beef. He wasn't like that. He was a loving person. So I'm going to have Marlon say a couple of things.
I'm going to start with a quick story. I used to do 90s back in the day. And I was pretty good at 90s. I was pretty good. And I would always go at it with Nat. One time I did 4.5 90s. That's pretty good. I came and sat down and Nat goes, man, it was tight. He went in there and did 7. He sat back down. And he goes, man, I did 2, 2.5? And I'm like, man, that was 7. And he goes, I know, I was just trying to make you feel better about it. And there was a point where I told Nat, I'm like, why don't you take this serious, bro? Why don't you take this serious? Because there was a point Nat would come in and out. And that was Nat, you know what I mean? He just came in and out. And one time I was like, you're so dope. You're so dope. Why don't you take this serious? He goes, I do. When I dance, I'm on it. I'm in it. I'm like, it's not just about that. And he goes, but it is just about that. That's why he said, he goes, but it is just about that. He goes, I don't care. He goes, I don't care about being famous. He goes, you guys, do your thing. I'll support you guys. Go, do it. And he genuinely did not care. He didn't care if you knew his name. Because the right people knew his name. And you know what I'm saying? Like to me, because I cared, you know what I mean? I wanted to be the best. But like when Nat would walk in, he was such a quiet guy. He was like, if he didn't know you, he wasn't gonna talk to you. Like straight up, real talk. If he didn't know you, he wasn't gonna talk to you. He was not gonna talk to you. I think sometimes like people say what's up, and he wouldn't even nod his head. Like he was just like doing his thing. But he was just the sweetest guy ever. 3 things I could expect from Nat to the very last day. You know, because he's really close with my family, and I go visit my family, and Nat was there. 3 things I expect from him: it's a smile, a hug, and how's the family? How's the family, Martin? Never failed. Like it never failed, and it's b-boying aside, traveled to 100 million countries aside. Like he was like the greatest guy, you know. And like I see everybody trying to be like superstar now, and everybody's trying to like. Nat genuinely just wanted to dance with us. That was it. That was it. That was his thing. I want to dance with my brothers. That was it. And you know, and like, I think we live in such a world where everyone's kind of so selfish. Everyone's so selfish about our gift, right? Like this is our gift. Like being together is our gift. And there's people that are just so selfish with it, you know, and I'm speaking for myself too. That we forget about people. We forget about the community. And the day that I met Havoc B-Boys, that changed my life. Simply because these guys just accepted me no matter what. You know? I know a lot of you guys don't know a lot about the situation. I was like living from friend to friend when I was like 15 years old. Moy never failed to open his doors to everybody. We would practice all night, like just, you know, I got a few staph infections, I got a ringworm on my face one time. But Nat, I just remember, like, we would, it was just like, it was like, it never failed. 3:30 p.m., we got out of Milby High School. Yo, Moy, you home? Yeah. Straight to Moy's house from Friday all the way to Monday morning. Nobody had, like, whatever you wore, that's what I'm going to wear the next day, so don't sweat it up too much. That's what he was, man. Like, that's what he was, you know? And, like, it's just so rare. Somebody at the viewing earlier said, this right here, Nat would have loved this. No one would have loved this meeting right here more than Nat. Because Nat would have danced all night, would have taught you how to do something, then served you up with that later, and then made you feel good about losing to him. He was that dope, you know? And like, I'm gonna leave you with this, man. It's just like, there's pieces in our lives that we can count on, and we know we have that piece of our life, so we take it for granted, and we do our own thing, because I know that I'm always going to call him, and he's going to be all right. He's going to be right there. I know that I can call him. I know that I can call Moy, and he's going to be right there. I know that I can call Charles, and he's going to be right there. And that piece was taken. You know what I'm saying? Like that piece right there, when I go to Magnolia Avenue P to visit my, you know, that piece is not there. You know, and like, I didn't see him every day. But when I did see him, it's like I saw him every day. You know what I mean? This guy was great, man. This guy was great. You know, when I talk about Nat, I never talk about how dope he was. I always talk about that, man. That guy is a good guy. The craziest thing about it, I was here 3 weeks ago saying that I got into an accident with a drunk driver. You know, and faced with like mortality, like I was like, I wish this on nobody, you know? And then this happens, and it just reminds me that we gotta go back to the things that are important, you know what I mean? And that's the thing I loved about Nat, is that he didn't care if everyone knew his name. You know, he wanted to be Nat. He was Nat, you know what I mean? So, thank you.
Hey, what's up? My name is Bam. When I was working at YA, I was the lead break dancer.